All right, let's dive in on NIL marketing agents, collectives, and revenue sharing. All right, so what do NIL marketing agents do? I'm Greg Glynn, founder and CEO of Pliable and a registered NIL marketing agent. Now, I'm registered in many different states across the country. The thing is, there are different laws in every state about what it means to be a athlete agent.
So we do have athlete agent laws here in the United States. So we have a federal athlete agent law called SPARTA, the Sports Agent Responsibility and Trust Act. And then most states, not all of them, but most states have passed some sort of state athlete agent act. So in most instances, agents are regulated by those states and by the federal government in terms of their relationship between NIL agent and athlete. And those laws can be a little bit unique, particularly because they were written to regulate professional sports player agents, but they do still apply to NIL marketing agents in most contexts. Obviously, it does vary a little bit state by state. But so with that, there's some requirements in terms of agent registration, but then also substantive form of the contract. So the contract between agent and athlete actually has to have certain things in it. There are some disclosures that are required by the federal law. There are disclosures that are required by almost all of the state laws. There's also some information that needs to be in the contract about payment schedules, end date of the contract. There's other various requirements that need to be in that agreement. And if the agreement doesn't conform to those requirements, in almost all circumstances, the contract is going to be voidable by the athlete, where the athlete can get out of the contract. So it's really important to make sure that you're crossing your T's and dotting your I's and making sure that everything that needs to be in the contract is in there.
NIL marketing agents help athletes at the college level build and manage their professional brands. There's really not a lot of rules right now around NIL marketing agents. What first athletes need to know is the value that they bring, because many athletes don't think they're worth having an NIL marketing agent, when in fact, you absolutely are. And a marketing agent is someone who helps an athlete identify brand partnerships, know your own value, negotiate deals for you, and help you stay compliant with NCAA and state NIL rules. Good agents don't just chase the money, they focus on authentic branding. That means connecting you with opportunities that reflect who you are, both on and off the field, the court, or the ice, whatever sport you play. Agents should also educate athletes on how to handle things like contracts, taxes, and also those deliverables you need to probably handle. They're also helping you make sure that you get paid properly. At Pliable, our role goes beyond transactions. We build a strategy. We help athletes tell their stories, attract sponsors, and manage long-term partnerships. We can also help you get in touch with tax advisors and understand that you are now definitely going to be adulting. Remember, athletes should never sign with anyone who doesn't clearly explain their fees, their NIL experience, or how they'll protect the athlete's eligibility. They should also tell you who their clients are. Transparency and trust are everything in NIL representation. Agents find and negotiate NIL deals for you. They ensure compliance and eligibility is protected. And they are a place where you should be able to talk with someone about what's going on not only with NIL, but in your life. This is a relationship that is key for your future. Let's also talk about collectives. Collectives are out there and sometimes will act almost as an NIL agency, finding deals really mostly with alumni or donors, and they pool money together for NIL opportunities for athletes at a specific schools. Now, these organizations aren't technically part of the university, although there's some controversy around that, and the structure is changing rapidly. But they can support athletes by creating partnerships and appearances and content creation and brand campaigns, much like you might see from an agent. However, you have to think about who you are and where you are in the pecking order for collectives. Collectives may not have your best interest in mind. An NIL marketing agent certainly should. However, some collectives, as I mentioned, have been pushed to the limits by using NIL as a recruiting tool and offering money and trying to compete with those other power conference schools. And that's where the NCAA oversight has come in. Athletes working with collectives should always read their contracts carefully. You should also confirm the services that are going to be performed and make sure that the payments match the NIL value that you are going to provide. It's also really important to have an attorney look over your contracts. So let's talk about how athletes are actually getting paid for their NIL. So athletes are actually getting paid from a variety of different sources, which could include contracts for social media promotions, autograph signings, event appearances, personal camps, and brand partnerships. So athletes who build a strong social media presence and following, right now I would say the average NIL following for getting national deals is probably around 5,000 followers. Now that's not to say you can't get there quickly, because I've certainly worked with athletes who have. But it can start as simple as selling your own merchandise, launching your own products, and then also how you're going to get paid matters. Is it going to be a fee? Is it going to be a commission? You have to look at all of these things when you sign with an NIL agency. And you also need to think about how you're going to get paid. Do you have PayPal? Do you have Venmo? There are certain things you're going to want to be prepared for, and an agent can certainly help you with that. The other thing before accepting any deal is athletes should always review contracts carefully, make sure that they can fulfill all those deliverables, especially if you're in season. How are you going to track and report your earnings for compliance? And what about taxes? How are you going to handle that? Who's going to help you with it? And then also, are you getting paid through revenue sharing? This is a whole nother element that recently has evolved. So technically, schools can't pay athletes directly for their athletic performance, but they can compensate them for their NIL. And that's why there is NIL money now to be had from the House settlement that resulted in revenue sharing. Also, colleges can provide education and connect athletes with local businesses, although not directly. There are NIL platforms and marketplaces where college athletes can do this. NIL agencies can help you with the entire process. The school has too many athletes to be helping. So that's why having an independent NIL marketing agent or working with an agency is the best way to go. The goal for these agents and agencies is to support the athletes while also helping them with financial growth. Revenue sharing in college sports is a huge part of an athlete's journey. You can actually earn money from your college and get paid as part of that $20.5 million that is available from the House settlement. That opened doors all over the place for a portion of athletic revenue that actually now can be shared with the athletes. The court case created a model where players receive part of the money generated by colleges and raised by the colleges, which they're trying to do now, to basically allow up to $20.5 million. And then, unfortunately, not every school can afford that. So they're either fundraising or they might not have the full $20.5 million to allocate. In that case, the competition even gets harder for you to earn some of that money. Typically, we're seeing it go to football and basketball, but there are other sports that can certainly cash in on NIL money that's out there as part of revenue sharing. Now colleges are securing ways to find more revenue through media rights, ticket sales, sponsorships, jersey patches. And for the first time now, student athletes can earn not just from NIL deals, but from the success of their teams and their athletic departments. This represents a huge shift towards semi-professional models here in college sports. And it raises new questions about fairness, taxes, and eligibility. Did you know there's even a snitch line to report athletes who might be violating opportunities through NIL? This is an important thing for you to know, especially if you're doing NIL activities. You do not want to break the rules. You want to make sure you're staying compliant, and you want to make sure that NIL is a part of your future. This is changing the game, and Pliable U is here to help. I'm Greg Glynn. Thanks for watching.